Aloha. I'm Paul Deloria for the Maui Community Investigation. In this video, we're going to be talking about the mishandling of body recovery and the documentation and resulting forensics of the fire by the police department. Also, we'll be talking about what happens when you have a whistleblower who starts to put out facts and data that are counter to the official government story. Also, we'll be looking at videos that we'll be doing in terms of research that we have on 46 different fires that have occurred throughout the United States that have very similar characteristics to what we're looking at here in Lahaina. But before we do, I just wanted to say that we have been away for the last 2.5 months, and we've been focusing on our local county elections here in Maui. And on a national level, I must say that there's some optimism in terms of our investigation when we look at the empowerment of Robert Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard, who've both been to the burn zone and have looked at the many questions that have occurred. And like us, they share questions about the official story. And again, if it may help us in terms of getting an open, public, transparent investigation. Let's get into this whole thing about the body recovery. And it starts with November 20th with Bruce Douglas and I going to a police commission meeting. And in there was a testifier that had some significant information. Greyson Abarra gave a very important testimony. He is the owner of Greytech, a company that was contracted since 2021 for the recovery, documentation, and transportation of bodies. On August 8th and 9th, his trained staff were ready to go in. And instead, the police rushed in with their own staff and collected over 40 sets of human remains. Here is Greyson's testimony.
The Maui Police Department, an institution meant to uphold the highest ideals of service and protection, has faltered under the weight of absent leadership. The public responses from the Chief's office glosses over critical issues and ignore the very real consequences of the omissions, actions, and inactions, resulting in compounded suffering of those who lost loved ones, leaving families in agonizing limbo and a community traumatized.
H&N Investigates confirmed identification numbers that were supposed to be issued immediately upon a victim's discovery weren't assigned until the remains had moved at least 2 different times. Scene photographs and GPS coordinates weren't obtained in every case, and MPD leadership also admits instances where body bags were not used to move decedents from their final resting place.
Instead of addressing the concerns that Greyson brought up, they went after him, questioning his process in terms of how he documented things and also his protocol that he followed in terms of getting information out. Also talked about how dare he bring up such a painful issue for the community. So instead of going after the actual message, they went after the messenger. I was shocked, as well as Bruce Douglas, who then later spoke and testified.
Bruce Douglas testified next.
I was very disturbed by the treatment of Greyson by this commission. You know, this commission's here to gather information and not attack it in person. It takes a lot of courage to stand forward in front of this commission and share his information. Instead, he was like put down for that information, what he's trying to share, rather than being supportive and saying. So it makes me wonder, is this commission here job to defend the police chief or to question what's really going on?
This is the challenge that we face in terms of trying to get data and information out that contradicts what the official story says. So again, we've been trying to get information, for example, FOIA requests from the police department. In July, we submitted 8 different FOIA requests about bodies and the blocking of roads for the exit of the fire by the police department. The police chief Pelletier signed that he had received our FOIA request. But since July, we received nothing, even though we made several requests. So again, this is part of the process of what we're dealing with. And let's look at what happened to Allison Blair of Hawaii News Now. They were the group that were there taking the videos that we used in this clip. And here is how the police department responded to Allison's reporting. The Maui Police Department says it has lodged a complaint with the Federal Communication Commission over reports by Hawaii News Now Investigates about the mishandling of human remains after the Lahaina fire. And the lawyers for Hawaii News Now gave their response. Hawaii News Now also rejects your wholly inappropriate attempt to limit Ms. Blair's reporting on or contact with Maui Police Department. Your email also asks that Mrs. Blair cease reporting on the Maui Police Department and refrain from using any other reporters' footage or reporting on the Maui Police Department, as you have not identified any factual inaccuracy or specific issues in HNN's reporting. It would appear that this request arises from the Maui Police Department's displeasure with the contents of HNN's reporting. And as we keep on doing our investigation, I think that we'll be getting also displeasure from other groups that may have also put out these reports. So we will keep on moving forward. And as we move forward, we're going to continue to investigate a lot of different aspects of not only this fire, but the many similarities that are happening throughout the United States. We've been investigating on 46 different fires that have happened since 2017. And again, the similarities are shocking when you look at the anomalies in particular. Let's start with some of the fires. The Santa Rosa fire in California occurred on October 2017, leaving 22 dead, 6,000 structures damaged or destroyed, and burned 37,000 acres. They also had a smart city plan for that area. And then there was the California Paradise Fire that occurred November 2018 that left 85 dead, 18,000 structures damaged or destroyed, with 14,000 of them were residential homes, and burned 153,000 acres. Again, they had plans for a smart city. We are dealing with a challenge that has significant implications for the United States with these 46 different fires that have occurred. And if you could help us in this investigation, we'd greatly appreciate it. If you can go to our homepage and scroll down to where there is the U.S. fires, and in there you'll see the listing of the 46 fires that I'm referring to. If you know of anyone who has been involved with any of these 46 fires, or have been involved with some type of community investigation like we're doing here in Maui, we'd greatly appreciate if you can contact us at info@mauicommunityinvestigation.com. And also, if you can just help spread the word. We are trying to really get our larger community involved with this. And also, if you could help us financially, that would be greatly appreciated. Right now, we have a lot of samples that we have taken in the burn zone for the past year. And would like to do an analysis on some of these, and some of the types of laboratory work is fairly costly. So we certainly could use some additional funds to help us out there. So again, thank you so much for listening and for helping to spread the word also. Mahalo for your support.